Hello and welcome back to my channel. Sabra Casey here, and this week I'm going to be doing my 15-week bump date. So this week the baby is the size of an orange. That's just crazy how much they change week to week and how much bigger they get. For those of you who don't know, we are having a little girl and we are so excited. We have a boy, he is 2, and I just cannot wait to see what kind of a big brother he's going to be to this little girl. We actually found out in our sonogram 2 weeks ago, so it's been so hard to keep the news to ourselves, but we wanted to wait until we had our pictures back from our photographer so that we could do kind of an official announcement with that. This week has been significantly better as far as cravings and hunger and nausea goes, because now that I'm kind of past that nausea hurdle, I'm actually able to eat healthier things versus just kind of eating whatever you can to not feel sick. I haven't been crazy hungry like I was before, so I'm not having to eat so many snacks throughout the day. I've been craving a lot of like salads and smoothies and things like that. With the salads, I think it's just the lettuce, like the crispy, crunchy lettuce that I've been craving. And then the smoothies, I think it's just the fruit that I've been craving with those. Also, something else that I've been craving that's not crazy abnormal for me, but I've been craving salt and vinegar chips. I just love salt and vinegar. I don't typically buy chips or have chips a lot in the house. I did buy a bag last week just because I was really craving them pretty bad. I've had a pretty sore lower back and shoulders. That could be just a combination of not sleeping in a good position mixed with picking up a 30-pound toddler, who knows. I've had back issues since high school. I've got a herniated and a bulging disc in my lumbar area of my back, so pregnancy definitely makes that injury kind of flare up a little bit more. I'm still having a really hard time sleeping at night. I really watch, caffeine. I don't drink much caffeine as it is, and even if I do, I don't drink it in the afternoons. I don't take a nap during the day. I've been trying lots of different things to try to help me sleep and nothing seems to help. I will lay in bed until midnight or later, just trying to go to sleep. So I'm not really sure how to help that, but I'm trying to work on it and get a little bit more sleep because I definitely need rest. I'm still having some cramping. I talked to my doctor about it and she wasn't terribly concerned, but she said definitely pay attention to when it happens and what you're doing when it happens so you can maybe try to avoid it. For example, lifting my son and stuff, I need to just be more mindful of how I'm picking him up and holding him and things like that. Since I'm not having any bleeding or spotting or anything like that, again, she's not really that concerned, but it's just something to kind of keep an eye out for. I'm typically cramping the most in the evenings, like at night, which is probably why I can't sleep. But it's usually when I'm trying to get fixed. It just feels tight and it's not painful, it's just uncomfortable. I'm not sure, and I'm not gonna say it officially, but I feel like sometimes I can feel her moving around in there. And most of the time, I'm like, no, it's gas. But there's some times where I feel it's literally just one flicker and then it's gone, and then I guess she's done for the day. But it's always in the evening time, like whenever I'm sitting and I'm really still, and like I said, I'll feel one kind of jab and it's super low in my belly, so I feel like it has to be her. But by the time I pinpoint it and recognize it and kind of stop and feel for it, then I don't feel it again. So maybe movement, but I'm gonna hold off to declare that officially. This next thing literally made me go. It was just a couple of days ago and I was shaving and I ran my hand along my leg and I felt kind of a bulge, you would call it. And looked, and it looks like varicose vein. I was like, oh man, because it was very pronounced, it was blue. I mean, it was varicose vein. Looked at my other leg and I had 2 on that side. So that kind of freaked me out because, varicose veins can cause blood clots and things like that, but they're not that uncommon during pregnancy. Again, I talked to my doctor. She said, just make sure you're not sitting for long periods of time and just try to get some circulation to it and all those types of things. I'm not really worried about it. I never had it with my first pregnancy, and because it's so early, it just kind of weirded me out. Plus, at this point in my pregnancy versus my first pregnancy, I'm about 35 pounds lighter. So I thought that was just so odd to have that because I'm carrying less weight than I was before. but what do you do? I actually had a doctor's appointment this morning and everything went well. This will actually be my last doctor's appointment with this particular doctor. She was, I guess, my woman doctor before I was pregnant, so that's why I kind of started to go with her, because you know, you have to get your confirmation of pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. Plus, she could only see me up until around 20 weeks anyway, so we were gonna have to switch regardless. So I am working on getting switched to another doctor, and I'm just kind of waiting on the paperwork and stuff like that to go through. So by my next appointment, I will be with the new doctor. Of course, we did the Doppler and the baby's heart rate was great. She found it immediately. Her heart rate was between, like, it was 140 and then 165, but I would say the average was probably around 160 or so, and it sounded good, and she was kind of moving all over the place. So that's always reassuring to hear your baby's heartbeat at the doctor's appointment for sure. Here is the 15-week bump. Next week I'm gonna have to set my camera up farther away. I'm almost taking up that whole screen. I also made the mistake of eating lunch right before this and wearing stripes, which are very unflattering. But here you go. Another thing I wanted to touch on, because I feel like it's really been bugging me the past week or two, is I've really been struggling with body image this pregnancy, because you know your body is going to change and everything, but I guess because everything is happening so much sooner than it did with my first pregnancy. For example, with my first pregnancy, I had the ab separation, the diastasis recti, where your ab muscles split in the middle. And it's basically a hernia that you get just from all the pressure and stuff from your uterus and everything pushing your stomach. After I had my son, my gap was about 2.5 finger lengths. That's how big the gap was. And I actually did a program at home to close it up, and it was really awesome. It really helped me a lot. And I closed it up completely, got my core strengthened, all that kind of stuff. So I guess I stupidly thought that I wouldn't get it again because I thought I fixed it. But over the past, I'd say at least 2 weeks or so, it's definitely like it was before, for sure. I mean, when you have it, you can't miss it. So I was really shocked to have gotten it, but then had to have gotten it so early. So I mean, we're talking like 14 weeks that I got it, but then with my first pregnancy, I was probably mid to late third trimester when I got it. So that's been kind of hard to deal with. Plus, you're very limited on what you can do as far as core exercises and strengthening and things like that, especially to try to close up that gap. And then of course with the varicose veins, because you know, it's silly, but in my mind I'm like, oh well, I must have them because I'm so heavy. Again, it's silly because I'm 35 pounds plus lighter than I was with my first pregnancy, so it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I've really been feeling just kind of down and blah so far with this pregnancy, and I just started the second trimester, so got a long way to go. That is all that I have for my 15-week bump date. Make sure you give this video a like and subscribe below. That way you don't miss out on any more videos. Bye.